Get to know all your favorite VRChat DJs all in one place. This is VRC DJ Live.
Another week, another amazing episode. Amazing because I try to make it that way. I like to try to at least be able to talk to some of our favorite people in our community. But I'm glad that everybody's here. Welcome everybody to VRC DJ Live. Of course, we run these programs every Thursday, and the time is totally up to the community based on whether or not they have the time to come and hang out and chill and talk to their favorite so-and-sos. Everyone from DJs to club owners, VJs, creative designers. If we have a couple of those on our show today, and again, very glad to have you part of the program. Very glad to hear some very positive feedback of the program. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, my name is Rob Roman. I'll be your host for today, and just as we've said, VRC DJ Live, it's a live show. We have a lot of people in our chat today getting ready to ask our guests a bunch of questions, I'm sure. If not, then we will definitely come up with some questions to ask our guests and get to know them a little bit more. But even more so, very inclusive community here in VRChat, both physically and virtually, that fosters a judgment-free environment, showcasing all sorts of genres, from house to laid-back beats on the weekends, and believe it or not, featuring over 12,000, I got to see the updated number recently, featuring over 12,000 members on the VRChat group, which we're actually going to be diving into. Please welcome to the studios, Medi, Catmelt, and Propaganda of Refuge. Guys, thank you for coming on the show.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
Yo, thanks.
Yeah, it always seems that you guys are just so busy with all your events happening, and even this past week, like, I've been trying to keep up as much as I possibly can, and you guys have like at least 3 or 4 events happening this week.
At least, that's for sure.
Yeah,
we're looking at the calendar and we're like, what are we doing? We're doing it again. You know, we have like 4 or 5 every single week. But,
yeah, we had a
whatever.
good moment where it like chilled out. We were like, all right, burnout setting in. Let's like take a little breather. And now we're just back to like 20 events a month.
Honestly, I also kind of think too, I know last night I kind of went in and you guys had a really extensive event. And, usually when you guys are working, it doesn't, I mean, I would assume that you're approachable, but at the same time, you've got things to do. But I just felt like I saw Catmelt like on top of a stack of crates, just kind of dying. But at the same time too, like somebody's helping out with somebody. But do you ever try to get yourselves a bit of a break when doing these types of shows?
Yeah, I'm still working on that.
Yeah, I would say it's harder for Humpty to take a break. I mean, you got to keep the train rolling somehow. But I think it's the way we keep going is we have so many people that want to pitch in or want to add something to it or want to do something for the community that will just make it happen anyways. And someone always shows up and someone always wants to be there. So yeah, that's how we do it.
I know.
We've had a huge like turnout for that, for like staff and stuff, and like people that want to do their own thing and or just help us out with what we've got going. It's pretty sick. Yeah,
the way I've been able to keep going is I get like someone new joins and they have all this like fresh energy and all these ideas and stuff they want to do, and I just take that energy and like work with it. I don't know,
I'm sure like either coffee or energy drinks or supplements help as well, right?
no.
I know.
I mean, I love coffee, but
Yeah, we just started the show. You were talking about how you were just grabbing some snacks, which is super important. I feel like a lot of people need to tell you to eat something, right? Do you have your snacks nearby? I know you were kind of looking around.
no.
Oh, not.
Yeah, what did you grab, dude? I was asking you, bro.
Yeah,
What
dude,
did
we
you
were
grab?
trying to figure out what you were eating, bro.
Oh, I was eating soup. Nicole made me soup. I try to eat like once a day. Sometimes I'll eat twice a day, like
It's not a snack.
bar or something. Yeah, it was like a whole meal. I don't know.
Well, who says that you can't take soup and then freeze it and turn it into a popsicle? That would be a snack, right?
Chicken soup,
dude.
popsicle.
I'm not saying that you
sounds
need to be doing that, but at the same time, I think that would be kind of, well, I mean, I would say kids don't try it at home, but kids try it at home. Let me know. I want to know. But of course, as we were saying, it's VRC DJ Live. It's a live program. Feel free to chime in with some of your. I don't want to say I'm gonna get all the soup questions. This isn't the soup store after all. But again, super impressive over the fact that you guys have like over 12,000 members on in the VR chat group, and we were kind of talking a little bit about just again how massive our community has been growing, comparable to all the events that you guys have been kind of doing. Where do you kind of see the growth happen comparable to being able to handle all these events? Again, even just having 3 or 4 events going on just this week.
Like comparable into like how do we like give enough events for our community, like kind of like that? Is
Or
that
just
what you're trying to?
being able to handle such a massive community. I mean, even just on your Discord alone, I was able to sniff out maybe like 1,200 members, and that your Discord again is super popping. You know, there's lots of activity happening in it.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely get like looks at like other clubs from other club owners that are like, holy shit, you guys, I can't even do this like once a month, you know, and they're like, good on you. They're like, pat my back and are like, all right, see you next month. And it's like, I think the team element helps a lot. Like having like a team, everyone has like a responsibility. Like Prop and I handle a lot of the visual side of things for promotion. You know, Hump and a lot of the people on his side of the team handle like the operations side of stuff. Like I would say there's way more operations than promotion people right now. So we feel the burn as well because we do have to make all the posters.
I mean, it's also the other part of it too, is it's like from like a working point of view, it's something I've actually put on my resumes a couple times of like the involvement of being in something like this. And they always ask questions about it. Like the person that's interviewing me about how it could translate to me like working for them. And it's just to say to be able to like project manage and put people together and all organic growth with zero money spent and all volunteer hours. They always are super interested in how like a community like this works, because most people, I'd say a majority of people that are interviewing me in their like late 40s or 50s, and they're like, all right, well, that's really cool. And like they think it's something that could be used for what they're looking for in their company. So that's also something I consider when I like spend time with it.
It's always such a fascinating topic, especially now, because we have a group of people that come in here and they want to just do this as a hobby. They want to do promotions or club owning or just trying to develop a skill just to have a skill. Same thing with the DJs. They want to come in here and they want to perform. But I feel like as they continue to perform and get a lot better with their skills, be able to put real world applications behind it, or maybe even get gigs IRL, or even just working in that entire market. But at the same time too, it always seems like such a hot topic, which I know we are going to be talking a little bit of a lot about, especially as we are getting out of the cabin fever. But being able to use your skills that you constantly use in VR chat IRL, and being able to find a perfect transition for those people, again, 40s, 50s, that they're just like, virtual reality, that's a computer, right? That's a computer game, right? Like it's so difficult to be able to showcase everything that we've got going on in here, especially with Refuge, of being able to understand what you guys are cooking in here, how amazing your product is, comparable to how busy you get. So even more so, and I think one of the things that does help is the vast amount of people that are in your community. Again, 12,000. I'm saying you guys are going to be like one of the top 5 clubs to get up into when anybody comes into virtual reality, to be real and to be honest. And your following shows, your audience, the people that come into the show, your shows it's full. Is busy. You guys are definitely doing a lot. So I want to kind of know, what kind of feedback do you get from the vast amount of people that either join into the VR chat club or in the Discord? What kind of feedback do you get to continue on with your successes throughout the year?
Humpy, what are you seeing, dude? I don't.
Hump used to get the most.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of people are like scared to tell me what they actually feel, about stuff. But, they don't know that a lot of people like that just join Refuge. They don't know anything, right? So they don't know that I'm like the guy that made the world or the owner of the group or whatever. So I'll just be like walking through the crowds and I'll hear something like, "Oh, this sucks" or whatever, and I'm like, you know what? It does, and I fucking iterate it and I fix it if I think it does
Take
suck,
notes.
or at least
I think
I'll at
that's
least
like a
like
big thing.
listen to that, and if enough people complain about it, then I'll actually like do something about it. I don't know. You gotta listen to what people want. I don't know. There are times where they don't know what they want, and they have these complaints, but the thing that they're complaining about isn't why it sucks.
Kind of
Like
also,
if something's really flashy and like hurts your eyes, I don't know. It's not necessarily how bright that thing is. It's how dark everything else is, or like adjusting post processing or using like auto exposure. I don't know.
how much is it a pain in the butt to try to please everyone? Because I feel like as
No,
much
it's
as
impossible.
yeah, because that's the thing though. I think especially for myself, because I know what I'm doing and I know how to represent my brand, but then there's that one person that's all like, well, maybe you should do it this way, and then I'm like, I can't escape that.
Yeah, the best way to do that, right, is to give everybody the option to change the experience for themselves locally, and that's why we have this post processing menu that Lavi made in all of our worlds. So if you think my lighting sucks and you don't like it, just change it yourself. Like adjust it. I don't like it's only affecting you, and all those toggles to adjust things. Lavi just updated it to have persistence, so I'm rolling that out slowly. It's in 2 of our worlds now. So now, when you rejoin the world, you'll have those same settings every single time.
Do you find
It's the
that
same thing with the audio too, right? Like you can
Yeah,
switch
all the
between
toggles,
spatial or
2D,
just
3D.
having it in your headphones. Yeah.
Hmm.
and that's super unique too, especially because you do have people that roll up in there, and I think I'm kind of feeding into it a lot because of the fact that yes, having well over 12,000 members a part of the VR chat group, you do have people that either have found you guys online or have seen you from another video or something where they come in, and I guess in the back of their minds they're thinking that they want it a specific way, but when they see the type of immersion that you guys bring, there is going to be some bickering, there's going to be some negative comments, I assume, but I think also too is the fact that 12,000 people is a lot. Like you're going to have a bunch of people that like they're a part of your community, but at the same time they may still be new comparable to like how much more knowledge you guys know comparable to what the perfect venue could be. Do you find that happening a lot more with some newer people where they're just like that's kind of their go-to thing is to constantly ask you to do a specific thing?
Yeah, well, so for a lot of people in VR, I would say it's sometimes even their first concert experience or their first like DJ
Yeah.
experience. And this is like, which is why we like work so hard at making it just right or, applicable to so many kind of people or environments because that musical experience just transcends everything. It's like if you've never been to a concert, but you're in VR and you go to a concert, you don't know what it's like to be in like a pit all sweaty or to be in VIP or wherever, or to, a lot of it is people watching on stream or like you said, social media, and they kind of catch wind of it. They're like, oh, that looks really cool. I want to go check it out. So I feel like a lot of new people do come in with kind of this, like, I'm ready for anything, and they're just blown away by it. And me, I was a person that went to concerts all the time. I grew up throwing concerts when I was in college, and I came in here and I saw what they were doing, and I saw what a lot of other people were doing, and I'm like, holy crap, this exists. Like, you guys are throwing concerts. Like, I want to be a part of this, and it kind of inspired me, even though I had an expectation already. So it's really neat to see the new person experience VR and the music scene for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, to add on to that too is for it being like someone's first musical experience, like I would say they're in a super lucky spot because they have a multitude of options and choices, and they might be able to see their favorite artists like a couple times in a week, or maybe even 3 times a week, or like they can see them 6 times in a month, but like when it comes to IRL and you want to see your favorite artists, like you don't get to pick the venue, you don't get to pick the ticket price, you don't get to pick how many people are there, what's around you, you don't get to block anyone if they're bothering you. Like, so the fact that we are given all these nice things to include on this platform versus how it could go for someone who, like, a situation might make them super uncomfortable in real life, we have to realize how lucky we are, and it is very easy to be how do I want to say, I don't know, kind of like upset about how things are, but like I feel like we get to be upset about those things because we don't know better and because of the time we spend on here. So I think we are lucky to have this space and and I encourage anyone who hasn't been to a show in person yet to go and experience it because it is so insanely different.
I know one of the more popular things that we do bring up, especially we should be bringing this up because it's going to be happening fairly soon, beginning around summertime. I think a lot of different clubs in VRChat have already started to have conversations about IRL events, VRChat IRL events, and being able to travel and meet up with the people that you normally meet up in virtual reality, but have a real live show. I know we're going to be talking a little bit about your previous endeavors in Salt Lake City later on in the program, because, again, those are the things that I think a lot of people miss out on. And I think what you guys have up on social media and on the internet needs to be seen. You know, the videos that you guys post and the efforts that you put into it, they're really, really professional and they look so cool. I was watching it being like, how did I miss this? How did I miss out on this? I want to be a part of this. Sounds cool. And I know we were kind of, I know I'm going to feed off of what you were saying there about not having those types of real life experiences. And I know for me growing up, I've always had basement parties and being able to be in the basement and in the vibe, it being like a dank vibe and like maybe you smell a little bit of mold and that's okay. Was that, I'm not saying that like your mom's house is danky or mold filled, but at the same time it gives off a vibe. Is that kind of the vibe you were headed for your mom's house?
Oh yeah, it's disgusting. It's decrepit.
Is that what brings people back for more, is because of how disgusting your mom's house is?
Ask your mom.
What does your mom do? Does she not clean? What's going on?
Well, the funny part is about like that whole thing is we're honestly a whole bunch of idiots trying to make something cool, but we're also really trying to enjoy it while we do it. And that was always like the joke. It was like a running joke and we just like made it. And Humpy just found an asset and was like, can we make this a place where people party? Like, can we cause all the party worlds were ginormous, right? And you'd like have to go chase people down or go sit and play in a game room or
and you'd be this ant on the dance floor made of neon.
And any house world was just not meant for DJing. Like it just was not set up. So sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. And then the joke just got to the point where and out of all the assets in the world, right? Like you can make the most beautiful, pristine, like $10 million house. And I was like, he found the one. I was like, that's perfect. It's gross. Like you should like feel when you go in there, like this place is disgusting. And like it should evoke a feeling like any other venue. And if it's the feeling that's like, what the hell happened here? That's a great start if someone's being there for the first time.
But there's also a vibe of feeling like at home, right? Like I feel like there's a little bit of gross in everybody's house, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Someone in chat just brought something up, and it's kind of like related to what we just mentioned. And we have this in real life where you look for a concert, right? There's Resident Advisor and all these. There's like 19 Hertz if you're in a city that has that. But we have Timeline now, which allows you to really look at all of the events and all of the people that are doing stuff that just like we are. And I think, that's kind of another nicety that, it's a blessing that we get that and people can promote themselves in a way where it's all there if you're trying to figure out what to do on a weekend or during the week. Yeah, I just wanted to tack that on because shout out Timeline. They're dope.
It's kind
Seriously.
of a little bit of a tricky situation too, because I feel like there are some clubs clubs or DJs for that matter that really want to remain out of the spotlight, but still have a feeling of being wanted or promotion or having a packed instance. But it's difficult too, because a part of the whole trajectory of the entertainment field, everybody wants that, but nobody wants to work hard to get to that level. They just want it right away. And for those people with the instant fame, it's also very difficult to gain that instant fame right away, unless you have a little bit of promotion. And luckily for us, especially this year, I don't know, maybe even starting last year too, but I would assume that you guys can be on the same page as I am, of being like, there's just a hell of amount of promotion going on within our community, and it's just been so cool to be able to allow us to do the things that we do when there's people out there that say, absolutely, you're doing a thing, here you go.
Yeah. I met these guys when they were triple digits, and I was just blown away that more people didn't know about it. I was like, okay, how do we do that? How do we just like yell the word refuge and like hundreds of people go, oh, okay, I know what that is. And I feel like, yeah, promotion really is it. Like just making posters and getting lineups together that are, equally as awesome, and just having fun, really. Because if you're not having fun, like, what's the point?
Why are the people coming have fun?
Why are they coming if you're not having fun? And they've always, like, the minute I met you guys, like, it's just been nothing but just a good time. Like making stuff and hanging out. So
I was gonna say we're not that late into the interview yet where you guys are hugging and like crying yet. So I mean,
oh my god, I'll handle the crying. You can do the hugging.
Yeah, guys, I couldn't do it without you. Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's funny.
All of our best ideas they just always start as jokes, man. Like 3 days a week is an excellent example. Okay, we used to do this thing where we just wouldn't close the instances, and they would last like 24 hours or more, and it was really dumb. But one night, Max was just like, dude, we should do like a 69-hour long event. That'd be funny. And I was like, dude, let's do it on June 9th, 6-9. That'd be funny. And then we looked at the calendar. It's like, dude, that's Friday. We have to do it. It'd
the
be
math
the
is
whole
perfect
weekend.
too. 69 hours is literally 3 days, like solid.
Yeah.
72.
Well, the name came later. We were just going to call it 69 Hours of Refuge or whatever, and then Prop found this techno song that was called 3 Days Awake, and we're just like, what?
Oh, perfect. So, I mean, obviously, how did that end? Were there enough people that were there for the whole time?
Yeah, the first one, we were all there. We were all, it was terrible.
We were all there.
Like
I think, like, among staff, we were like, all right, who's actually going to do it? Like, who's actually going to stay up the whole time? None of us did. We all passed out in the game. Like,
sleep in the headset, wake up in the headset, have mixed reality dreams about being in the headset.
Oh my god.
Hear people yapping about random stuff, log back in, see like your buddies.
You wake
like
up and there's like a full Japanese conversation happening around us because it's like 5 a.m.
Yeah, but you gotta have that experience if you're gonna play with the big dogs. If you're gonna be flying to like Europe and then back to Miami and then across over to California, you're gonna be partying all the time. So might as well do it in here, right?
That's the dream. It's definitely a good stress test to like.
Oh yeah, 100%
in here first. Yeah,
it's just that.
Well, the crazy. I was gonna say, just the craziest part is like with that is getting 72 strangers on the internet to agree to something on some capacity where they have some sort of personal attachment to it. That's the craziest part, is getting 72 yeses from anyone. So
I mean, it's also a good foresight for like when you want to try to do those 24-hour streams. I'm really thankful that our community hasn't gone through that yet, or they haven't been inspired to do that yet. I know like a couple of years ago it used to be a thing. I didn't think that someone would wake up and legit just be like, I'm gonna be awake for 24 hours, kind of a thing. But that's still super impressive, and I wish that you guys built a trophy or a plaque or something to put in one of the instances. I think that'd be a really funny touch to kind of go in there and just be like, here's the complete lineup, here's who stayed awake, all that sort of biz, but it does take
Yeah.
a little bit of time. Before we carry on, because we still have a lot of the program to get to in a very short amount of time, I want to take us back a little bit, because I think a lot of people, when they do come to a Refuge event, they see you guys, they see how busy you are. I think a lot of people are like, well, they're busy, I can't really talk to them. Obviously, this is a live program. They're sitting here. Feel free to ask those questions. I know we had a kind of a question about what you guys think of Riddim, and I think you didn't like that answer or that question, so you kind of
Oh, that's just a throwback.
We addressed the Riddim
It's
delegation.
just funny.
yeah.
So lore on that, why we like hate Riddim or whatever. Back when we started Refuge, okay, in 22, there was nothing but tear out Riddim dubstep being played, and maybe I just didn't know the club scene enough, but that's everywhere I went. That's just all we heard.
A product of the time.
So me and Spec just wanted to listen to, I don't know, anything but that. So we loved house music, so we're like, okay, let's do House Wednesdays.
So you just kind of threw the gavel down and were just like, enough
Yeah.
is enough.
And since we did open decks, like that was our culture. It was just like you just hang out with us, and whoever's next, go for it. Like if you want to DJ, we put the "I will not play Riddim" at the door.
Oh, is that
That's a
Yeah,
joke.
and then I stumbled in, and then I immediately played Riddim. I was just like, all right, boom.
to kick him out? Yeah.
It's like like, dude, I'm not
No,
gonna
but they
care if
loved
you
it.
play it, but like if you play it
Yeah.
for an hour, I'm sorry, I'm probably not gonna have you on again.
An hour
like
of Riddim. I can't imagine.
yep,
It's fun. It's fun, but it's a lot.
it's very tiring.
I don't know. We ended up making a Riddim event. Ended up making Chopped, which was under Specs, guidance and booking, and I mean that was awesome. Just making something for that. I think listening to 10 hours straight, house music is a vibe, and it's on a Wednesday. You're probably coming back from work, chilling out, and then I get on the decks and I just start playing dubstep, and then it's like, oh man, here we go again.
That's so.
Yeah, I mean
it's
the
fun,
thing
yeah.
is, the thing is too with that is like, we wanted to do something that was like really focused on what would we go to every week, like what would we never get tired of, and like if we're gonna do it for 52 weeks straight, what could we listen to for 52 weeks straight and not hate ourselves? And like I know this might like upset some folks, but like I can't do 24 hours of DMB. I can barely do 12 hours. Like I think DMB my limit's like 4 hours before it starts
Yeah.
to sound like the same thing. So like everyone has their limits in what genre they listen to. But I also know people can sit around and drink beer and listen to country music for 10 hours, like so it's to each their own in that sort of sense. And I just think we just looked at each other and said like, hey, like what is something we could listen to
It's our
literally
country
every
music.
week for a year. Yeah. So
And honestly, that's really good too, especially with the types of events that you do hold every week, is that not every event is the same, nor the location the same, but the location that you do provide and the event that you provide throughout the week has a specific vibe. I can't even begin to tell you on Sundays when I creep on in there and it's like later on in a Sunday when everyone is still sleepy and we put on that low kind of not lo-fi, but like that lower energy music, and you just exist. Like you're just there. And it is something that I feel like a lot of the times we misplace, because we're always here Fridays, we're always here Saturdays, we're always here, and we always enjoy the stuff that we do. But the constant rule of thumb is you do have to shake the bag up a little bit to kind of get a broader sense of good mentality when you're in here all the time. Let's carry on with our conversation. I think a lot of people, again, they see you doing these events, and it's really difficult for them to kind of say hi because you're busy and stuff like that. I think this is the opportunity that we would really love to know what got you interested in VR in the first place. Like, you've got to have at least seen it from a video, or maybe you were into game development, or maybe somebody pulled a dare on you and said, yo, you won't go into VRChat or something like that. So I kind of want to see from each of you, how did you even get in here and what drew you in here in the first place?
So for me, I bought a Index because I just had like a bunch of COVID money, and I was working at GM at the time. So I was just like, fuck it, it looks cool. I want to play Beat Saber. It's like pretty much everyone's go-to game. And then I just kind of sat there collecting dust to play Beat Saber like once a week or something. But I saw a couple streams of people just trolling in VRChat, and I was like, wait, I have a headset. I forgot the game existed. Let me like actually go in there. And yeah, that was in like February 22. So
Don't
that's
tell me
weird,
that
you
you
know?
came in here and you were Uganda Knuckles. Is that
See,
what you
that's
saw?
how I found out about it. I
Ah.
saw that meme and I was like,
I-
oh my god, I followed Hey I'm B, the Misfits, Fitz, Swagger Souls. Like at the time, this was like 6-7 years ago now.
Yeah.
Didn't buy the headset, wasn't convinced. I was like, this is a funny joke, which is what a lot of my friends who were gamers like would associate VRChat at the time, 7 years ago. But then like there was just something that scratched my brain about the Quest 2 coming out. I was watching some Thrill Seeker videos. I was like, whoa, like seems cool. Like, and I saw Super Hot. Super Hot was the game that I was like, that I
Oh,
want to be
yeah.
in the Matrix in like slow mo. And I did like I was a Twitch streamer back then full time, and yeah, I just fell in love with it. And then VRChat just kind of naturally, the door was just there, and I finally opened it.
Yeah, for
But
me, this is a funny story actually. I went through a breakup and it was COVID, and all of my friends were like super, dude, like we can't hang out, it's COVID, like super serious about everything. I was like, okay, fair enough, like I respect your wishes, and like everyone was trying to stay safe as possible. I was like, I'm not the biggest extroverted person, but like I just needed some sort of social interaction. And I was texting my homie who's like never even been on VRChat, but just like would just watch all sorts of random stuff. And he'd be like, dude, have you been on VRChat? And I was like, no. And so I get on the game, and I was just in desktop. I didn't even have a headset. I just wanted to see like what the hell are people doing on here. And then I just looked at the most popular world, and I was like, it's COVID. I was working at a liquor store at the time, so I just popped open a beer, and I was like, let's go to drinking night. That sounds like a place, like it sounds like a bar, like let's go hang out there. And I just saw the most insane social interactions like that you would never see in person at a bar. Like a bar would never be like that, like people running around talking shit, whatever, just like a zoo. And I was just like, well, I guess I gotta see where this goes for a couple weeks. And then ended up talking to people who knew about this thing and that thing, and yeah, ended up here. So
I'm always so interested about people's war stories from drinking night. It always seems like everyone's got something. Either it would be something really good, or something like they get the PTSD or something comparable to how much they drink, or the public instances of anything really. But that's super dope. We didn't get an answer from you about what avatar you're in. I'm kind of interested.
Oh, I was looking for it. My first avatar was like, it was some animal, and I would just like walk around in it for a while until I was like, wait, this like I don't even have like tracking. No, it was like an actual like animal. Dude, I had it saved somewhere.
Because I always feel
That's
like, I mean,
funny.
there's a little bit of a side story to like, oh, I saw something funny on VRChat, and then we kind of trailed off, and I was like, I kind of want to know now. Like, what was so funny about it? Unless you found like a giraffe or like a polar bear or something. No?
No, but I don't know. There's a bunch of different
when was your
streamers I'd watch.
first drinking night? Well, like, were you in there pretty early too? And
Yeah, that was my first, because I
that was mine too.
try.
I think we all share that.
I tried Black Hat, and the type of people that go to Black Hat, man.
Didn't do it.
I would be there for hours and meet like one kind of cool person, whatever. I eventually showed up to drinking night and just was like, fuck it, I'll try this. And met this guy named Salzar, and he just kind of like, I don't know, we just became like best friends basically. We just logged in every day, fucking around and drinking night, playing a million games of shitty.
So good.
That's where I experienced my first full body tracking. Like I saw the golden goose, and I was like, what? That's so cool. And I hung out with them like every day too. And they showed me Refuge. That was really sweet. They introduced me to the DJ scene.
Me and you have the similar story of drinking night, where you would just get hammered and just play music through our headset and see if people like it or not. We were on the same timeline, just different. You know what I mean? Like, because
yeah, we were just the background music to the war story. Truly.
Yeah, exactly. And then that also, yeah, the full body thing is still the same. And the person I talked to with full body, I was like, "Why do you have that?" They're like, "Oh, it's so I could dance at the club." And I was like, "What do you mean club?" And then they
What?
showed me, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is where you
Yep.
dance." Okay.
I'm just glad to feed off
This
of
makes
everybody
sense.
else's stories because I don't really have much of a story, despite the fact that everyone has more stories about that world than I do, despite the fact that I live there, I guess, technically. Of course, it's VRCDJ Live. We're here with the team of Refuge, and we do have a couple of questions in chat, and Manny was kind of answering a few of them, but I kind of want the rest of your opinions on it before we keep carrying on with our conversations here. But one of them, do you have any recommendations for DJs in VR to get gigs and spots in clubs? And that's kind of an important question,
Oh, that's a good one, dude.
especially over the fact that, again, lots of people love to come to Refuge. A lot of people know of the clubs. What kind of a process do you guys normally seek out, especially for the newer people that want to come in and perform?
I feel like we could each talk about this, like in
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
ways.
Humpy,
Who
you
wants
go
to
first.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
go first. Oh, you're muted. Is he muted for you?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Sorry, I burped earlier. Okay, so I'm extremely like liberal and open. Like I don't, if someone's never even heard Refuge and they're like, "Yo, can I DJ there?" I'll be like, "You know what? Sure, man. Why not? Like, what do I got to lose, really?" But it's pretty. I don't know. To get a definite
Different
yes
everywhere.
from me, you like ideally you care at least a little bit about what we're doing, enough to understand the vibe of the place and then what kind of music play. Because usually, lately I've been kind of a dick and I've been filtering people who DM me. I'm like, "What event would you like to DJ at?" And they're like, like, yeah, okay.
Next one.
You don't even know.
The next one. The one coming up.
The one
I'd like to
coming up.
play. The next
Yeah, and that's,
That
yeah,
has
like,
the
oh,
lineup
the next
already.
one. I'm like,
and a
all right,
poster.
dude. Yeah.
Well, it's just as important because the people there are going to want to vibe to whatever you get to perform, and if you don't know what they're looking for, it's going to be really hard,
Yeah.
communication between DJ and people that want to party.
Like, are you DJing to express yourself, or are you just DJing just to like be cool in front of people?
Put
Like,
it in your bio.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or are we just
I
like a
feel like-
checkbox for you to check off? I don't know.
Oh, right, that too, right? Like, oh, I've played every club, but I haven't played these, so I gotta. Well, I don't know. There's two sides to it, right? There's like, you have the side that's never DJ'd before and wants to learn, and I feel like we really make it accessible for
that.
those people to learn.
Yeah.
And like, here's how you set up your computer. Here's how you set up your headset so you can see what you're DJing while you're up there. Like, and then there's the side where it's like, you know how to do that. You're a performer. You've DJ'd before, or you're just getting started. Whatever. Open decks. Like, if you're doing it, like, just go on timeline. All the events that have open decks will have the check mark, and it'll say that. And that's where you can really like, you could even DM the people that are staff or the people that are. If you don't DM them, maybe you see them. Just be like, yo, I'm going to try to do this open decks tonight, or I'm excited to perform tonight. Like, would love for you to hear it. Just that extra step of like communicating that you want to show off what you can do to get booked is huge. And yeah, we'll talk about it later, but we have so many ways that we integrate open decks for new DJs and experienced DJs as well.
Yeah, for me, like, I would say it's like kind of like finding talent, as the same as you would for like A&R or anything like that. And the easiest way to like convince someone that you at least get the basis of like mixing is something I like to look at. Just because I DJ a little bit differently than I would say, I don't know, a lot of people do, whatever. We'll talk about that later. But like, if I can see that you're trying to like display a sound that works, like I really enjoy it. And the other way that like we found people in the community is like when we do have free time just hopping around. Shouts out to one of the coolest like weirdest experiences of finding someone was Wilda. Wilda is
Yo.
me and Cat Melt pulled up to some world I've literally never even been to, never even heard of. Just had some friends there, and I saw him. I looked immediately at Cat Melt. I was like, okay, when he
When is he playing, dude?
the
Yeah.
vibe. Like he
That's
won
right.
the vibe, you know? So, and like sometimes that just happens, you know? And the other part is like people ask, how do I get in? It's just spending time. And it's like people will ask us like, how do you have 3,000 hours on VRChat? And it's like, well, 50% of them are working hours and 50% of them are actually enjoying. So like y'all have the benefit of taking your enjoying hours to turn them into working hours in order to expand your bubble, you know? So yeah.
I'll say one of the other caveats to all that too with the open decks, and this is something that I got to experience IRL when we went to MagFest this past January, is while open decks exist, depending on each group, it's going to depend on how they approach open decks. If you feel like if you go in, you want to go in early. You're going to want to say hi to the people, but you're going to want to ask early too, just in case somebody else cuts in front and gets the, you know, because again, I was a part of an open deck thing, but like they were like open deck started at 12:30. The next slot was like 5 a.m. So it was either like, oh, I gotta wait around 5 hours to do something, or maybe I shouldn't. And then the other caveat too is obviously, you know, going to the Discord, going to the events, getting to know some of the people, because those people are going to be the people that you're going to be performing for. But that is definitely a good way of understanding open decks. Don't just show up at the end and just be like, "Can I play in front of people?" Like, I mean, sure, but I don't.
Yeah.
I know that's not how you guys get down.
I'll let you talk about Flatline Hump, but before you get into it, like, so we created a system to remedy that. But the beauty of so many events now and so many clubs existing now, this year especially, there's going to be more than one, right? And like, if you become an open deck hunter, whatever, you're just trying to like get your sound out. Just try to find clubs that fit that sound. You know, if it's a house show and you got a house playlist that you really want to throw down, like, go to all the techno stuff, go to all the, you know, house music stuff, and vice versa. You know, if you're a dubstep DJ, there's so many cool places right now. Like, I personally, I just want to shout everybody out low key. Like, I'm just, all these names are coming into my head of all these cool clubs. But yeah, shout out to everybody that's doing it, because you're giving someone an opportunity to play that open deck, or even just to say hi and be like, hey, I do this and I really like what you're doing. And I think that is just like the first step, either just saying what's up or getting on the decks after the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a system that like we cooked up. I'm excited to hear about it, bro.
Just to bounce off that too, like, if you really want to play, like, go to the lower number count groups, because they're newer, they probably care more, and they're like going to be more willing to like and excited to hear you play. And like Loud Noise Gang is one that's like really sticking out to me. Like, they really care. And Trench, but they're both like heavier. So when people come to me and they're like, "Oh, I want to play dubstep," I usually just throw them to those two groups. But Flatline, so it's cool because you can just come in and sign up in game. You know, you just you input your link, and then you click join queue, and then you're on the list.
We
And
do these
then
every other Friday, pretty much.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like all
we're
open
probably
deck.
gonna start doing it once a month, but yeah, it's just 30-minute sets, random. So any staff member can go in there and just click random select, and then click a button, and it announces to the whole lobby who's next. We do it like 15 minutes before the next set, so you get some time to like set up and know you're actually playing next.
It is a little hard for everybody to get a good understanding of how all of that works, and I can really relate to the people that are coming in here for the first time and trying to test the waters with how they're performing, and again wanting a big crowd and stuff like that. And it's never a bad thing to start off small. And while you do want to do some of these much larger events, it's perfectly okay to do your networking. Well, obviously, yes, you want to network. That's kind of a key importance of VR chat, is to chat virtually. But at the same time too, like you do have to rank up. You have to level up. You have to perform, have experience, and being able to perform. Again, a crowd always starts with like a handful of people, and if they really enjoy what you do, whoo, man, you let them loose, they're going to promote you everywhere. Like they'll talk to everybody that they know to get attention, to be like, well, how come this person isn't playing here? How come they're not playing here? And just as you guys have said too, is just depending on your genre and the way that you perform, you could be better for another thing, and that's not a bad thing. It's not that, it's not like, oh, I can't perform here because I don't have the skill. You may just not have the certain vibe that they're going for, and that's perfectly okay as well. Do we dare even bring up the monetization question?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Yeah, we don't make money.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is not
has this notion that, like, because we got so big so fast that we're just rolling in it. No. I just got a new part-time.
Yeah, I've been working full-time at restaurants, which is like a high-stress job, and then doing this voluntarily is also high-stress. The platform has not made it big enough for our side of things to like make monetization out of it. Like, sure, like the places, the giant public worlds like Just Be Club with like, we're literally like, we'll give you perks. Like, we don't want to give you perks. We want to give you everything so that you show up every week. Like, the perks we want to be a given, like we don't want, and like, yes, people like subscribe to the Discord or have bought merch, and then everything with that, the only thing we've spent money on was an opportunity to meet each other in person. We bought plane tickets and a place to stay so that we could all actually like meet each other for the first time and shake hands and exchange pleasantries and hang out and like be with each other. But other than that, no, I would say this is not the most lucrative place right now. If the user base was to grow by 500% year over year, and that we could give something that makes sense to charge for, then sure, yeah. But this is just all for us and for everyone else. Like, this is a passion project. So,
or if like Red Bull, if you're trying to come through and sustain the energy at these events, like come through, talk to the devs at VRChat or whatever, because the money's not going to come from the individual. They've already spent so much on the gear, the PC, the DJ deck, the headphones, whatever it is, to enjoy the experience. And I think giving that back in a way where maybe we'll see advertising in the future. I think that's probably where the monetization is going to go. But yeah, for now, it's like a beautiful place. You don't have to pay a cover to go to a show right now. And I don't think it's going to get there. I don't think a lot of us want to see that either. Just for so many reasons that I could just...
It would have to be such a unique one-off experience to charge anything,
Yeah, I was going to say something like, we do have a lot of new DJs in here, and I know that you guys DJ as well, and you've played in front of crowds, and you know what kind of experience that you're looking for. But where do you find your own personal weight, considering someone who's just starting, based on your experience? Have you ever thought about putting some sort of a monetizational value, like being able to perform IRL, or maybe try to make some money?
I feel like...
Yeah, I don't know. I would say no, because you get to be like, for me, I like to be a little bit more enigmatic on here. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I like to be a little bit more mysterious, sure. And like, for me, like, I want it to feel super special when you get to see me, but I still want everyone who can be there to be able to be there, and I know that's not the same for everyone that plays music, but it should feel special because it's something you're putting time into. It's an artistry point of view, and or even if you're just doing it to be in the limelight for a little bit to feel something, it's like, it's always, you know, a symbiotic relationship between you and the people that chose to like log in here for the evening, you know? So just be considerate of that is what I always think about.
It really feels like Twitch a lot in its early days. Like you had the massive, you know, you had the soda poppins who are now grandfathered in and can buy a house. I feel like just do it while you can if you want. Enjoy it while you can and support the people that you think are dope. That's the current monetization model we have is just supporting people, whether it's a Discord sub or, you know, now we have the new VRC sub stuff. Yeah, it's so beautiful. I could never see a hard monetization like a ticket or anything like that. Merch, sure. You know, sub to support what we're doing and to pay for like the newest shader or, you know, one of the artists on the team to get commissioned. Like, yeah, like that's kind of where that's going.
I mean, if at all anything, I
right
feel like
now.
the money that is coming into a specific group also has to be split up for all the people that are working within that group. So it's not just like, oh, you tip your DJs, but what about the staff? Because someone
Right.
has to run the event. It's not just run by DJs. But it always seems like we do have to talk a little bit about that too. And we'll carry on as well because we'll run out of time because obviously it's kind of everybody's looking for money. Everybody's trying to get skills. Everybody's trying to get a job doing that. They want to play these really large venues. But in VRChat, yeah, I mean, it also boils down to, and we're going to talk about world creation. Hopefully you're not sitting on pins and needles because we want to talk about it. But it's just that too. It's just VRChat. It's free. Unity, it's free. Blender, it's free. The only thing that's not free is the DJ equipment and the music that you perform on, unless you rip music from the internet. But at the same time too, it's just like, again, these are the skills that the new people come in, they want that instant fame. They want to be able to make a career out of it. They want to make money. Twitch provides a way for you to get some sort of a tip, it's not really a donation anymore. It's more of a tip your DJ. But it's also, you could see an actual fiscal number. You know, you can actually see what your worth is via a dollar sign comparable to the experience that you can get by performing in front of people, because the networking and the promotion is just as important as how much money that you are receiving, because it's not even a matter about the money. It's about the networking and the promotion.
The skills.
You can, someone could pay you to perform in front of no people. You know, you could be paid, but is that enough experience for you to put it on your resume to be able to get more gigs later on down the road? Yeah, I get paid by a number, but there's no one there.
Put that on your EPK, you know, if you're a DJ, like, you know, if there's a dope poster and you're on it, like, hell yeah, tell people about that, because that's the same thing. Like, it's 1-to-1 when it comes to performing in here and in front of a crowd, like people dancing in front of you and you're throwing down sick music. I think that's what you gain, you know. Kind of, I'll jump off the monetization boat right now and just say, like, this is a huge hyperbolic chamber for skills, becoming an artist, you know, even just expanding your mind to like new genres and new things, and not just in music, but in world creation and 3D. Like, there's so many people here that are inspired off the jump, and I can say that they should work in a game studio now. You know what I mean? It's like, you should be working on Half-Life 3. You're like, you know, like, you're so good. And it's just because they started that journey in VR. You gain so much.
Now, I want to also feed off of the disassociation based on the different types of venues that we have in here as well. And this is where we're going to lead into our leader here at Refuge, about understanding world creation as well as the perfect venue. I know a lot of DJs and a lot of people that come in here, they see the more popular venues, they kind of feed off of that, get inspired off of it. But then you also have a group of people trying to test that, as well as trying to either make a latest greatest drinking night, which has a social aspect to it. But I feel like outside of us trying to identify what a perfect venue can be, it's not strictly based off of that, but based on the type of immersion that you want to have in VRChat. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about what Refuge brings to the table, that Mehdi works tirelessly on to put together some of these experiences and be able to tell us some of the worlds that you guys provide and the type of immersion that you want to have a lot of the users come in to to kind of explore and understand your events?
Yeah. Let's say the goal of what an event is to like express your emotions in a way that words cannot, right? Through the music, the visuals, the environment that it's in, whatever shader effects are going on.
Yeah, it's like, and we're just having fun doing it too. Like you said
Yeah.
earlier, like every idea we try to put into the manifold of Refuge it's coming from us. It's not coming from anything, thin air. It's us hanging out and like telling a joke, being like, "Oh, your mom, wait." And then it just kind of sticks on the
Yeah.
wall.
Literally, that was like, let me drop a portal to your mom's house, and then there was no world called your mom's house. I'm like, what?
That's amazing.
made it.
That's amazing, because I would have never thought of it like that. But you're totally right. I mean, if you want a cheese world, you could just be like, type in cheese and you find cheese. But I'm surprised that there's not your mom's house. Besides now.
Apparently, there's a Your Mom's podcast, and they told us about that in the comment section on episode 1. Check it out. It's on YouTube if you guys want to see what we're doing over there. But
Yeah.
I feel like even on a cooler, like more serious note, like we're trying to develop a story for Refuge and lore that fits into a lot of the maps and this kind of post-apocalyptic, how we see our story. We just want to tell a story, and it's cool that we get to do it through maps and the events and stuff now.
Well, yeah, the other thing too is like once you kind of build that basis as a group, you sort of build an expectation for your peers, right? The people that come and see you, and the more little hints you can drop along the way for them to like stay interested in this little Easter egg hunt. Like, we're having an event at your mom's basement soon, and if you've never eaten at the rat table before, you should, So like it's stupid stuff like that. And it's just like for us, and especially like speaking on behalf of Humpy, I think Humpy's just like really trying to be the best that he can at his craft. And one thing that he doesn't get enough compliments for is making it so that the worlds run for anyone on any sort of level of technology that they have. Like, you don't have to have the 4090 in order to come to Refuge and enjoy the entirety of the visual effects and stuff like that. So
I was going to
yeah.
say, what was the kind of process for that? Because I'm pretty sure you'd be pulling out your hair when you hear about things like VRChat on Android and iOS, and being able to even make a Quest compatible something that again, that's kind of a hard topic anyway, to be able to have all those moving things going on for the Quest people, while also not compromising performance.
I just try to keep it as minimal and simple as possible, really. And I've just been slowly learning through experimenting myself and just like seeing, oh, what happens if I delete this in play mode? Oh, it still works? Okay. Then I don't need it. And Levy has been a huge help for learning how
Shout out
stuff
Levy.
works. And I don't know. Like I don't think switching to Quest would be that hard at all, I'm gonna be honest, but it's just extra effort. I will do it eventually, especially now with ID verification. Like before I was like absolutely not, because there's just too many 12-year-olds on Quest. But
It always seems...
I started going to public worlds, and like honestly, there are a lot of cool people on Quest. They just don't have a PC. They're just not a gamer. So, but they still like, they're still cool to talk to. Still people.
It's kind of tough too, especially because like I know we were kind of talking a little bit about the Quest. I got one for Christmas, and I've been kind of farting around with it, trying to see what I can do without a link cable, and what I'm able to do, especially with the avatars, right, and making sure that those are Quest ready and stuff like that. But it always kind of seems like it could be an ongoing steep hill of a climb to try to either A, have a world that we can go and party that is fit for Quest, comparable to the data or the research that we do get from a lot of the Quest users that come in and are looking for a venue that could provide all of the things that you would normally do on a PC on a smaller scale, without it being plugged into the thing. But it seems like a very cryptic question, but like, do you kind of see that challenge continuously progressing into the new year, especially as the new Quest systems are coming out?
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna get fucking really annoying for me probably, because especially with all the new stuff that I'm learning how to do, I'm just gonna have to learn how to do it on Quest. But honestly, like for Quest Worlds, I will probably just not care. I'm gonna be honest. It'll just, you can come and hang out and talk to people and hear the music, but you're not gonna get the visual experience. You'll just have to get a PC for that. I don't know. At least until I find a good solution for it.
Well, dude, the craziest part, and I think this is kind of like, it is definitely a tangent, but the part that I always feel bad for the people on Quest is there's like this hidden element of fashion within the dance community, and they can't always see avatars to the fullest extent. So if VRChat or the devs or whoever could fill that gap for that too, because like seeing people really get into customizing their avatar and really identifying with their avatar, I feel like that's a huge part of the experience. And I feel like with that little, like, it's kind of like this kind of weird social cutoff where you're not exactly seeing someone how they want to be displayed when you're doing cross-platform. So there's also that to consider.
What do you guys think about potentially raising the cap from 80 to 90 or something?
Can't wait.
Just
It's
do
gotta
it.
be coming.
What are we waiting for?
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, I feel like
Just
I feel
pull
like
it.
we're there. Yeah, I don't know if it's like a server side thing. I feel like if you manage the avatars on your end, like I'm on virtual desktop all the time, and if I just manage, like, I don't have, my PC's almost 6 years old and I still do fine. I think if you just manage it all correctly, or if you really want to go to like 120 users, just moderate it correctly, and it's feasible and it's doable. So yeah, 100%, just raise the cap as much as it can go. So see where it breaks.
I really
Yeah, didn't
The
New
thing-
Year's they had like 200 people in there. Sorry, you go.
Yeah, they're going crazy. I mean, possible. 100 seems very doable. Like Tupper seems to just do it randomly every weekend almost, where he was for a while. But one thing, like once the sizes get, let's say, is 200 cap tomorrow, right? Like that's gonna change like how event worlds run a lot. I think the bigger ones will just kind of consume everybody.
Because you would
But
think
there's
that's
still going to be people who like don't want to be there. Like, you know, like the people get overwhelmed and social anxiety or whatever. Like they're just gonna never go to them again. So there's still going to be like smaller ones, but I think a lot of them are going to get consumed.
when you raise the cap from like, obviously I would assume you would know what a full 80 instance could look like. Does it have anything to do with how the world is built, or would you think it's strictly just avatar polygons and stuff?
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%, dude. Every map,
Yeah, dude.
anytime I talk to any map creator ever, it's this world is built for 80 people. And like, could you imagine how you build the world for 160 people, even if you just double it?
Oh.
Like the whole entire logistics of where this staircase goes, or where this pillar is, or where this speaker looks like it's, or is this spatial audio coming from over here? It's like the whole logistics. Every community, if they can get there to that amount of users, or if they're allotted that amount of users, they're gonna literally have to build or change all of their maps based on that number.
Yeah.
I know it might have something to do with the avatar. Again, as we were saying, you have some very poor avatars, but for different reasons, despite the fact of hitting the polygon limit. Maybe you have those spinning balls, or maybe you have a lot of chain, maybe you have lots of reflections, or however you do, lots of jewelry. It always tends to be kind of jewelry at the end of the day because it's just a small bit of chain going everywhere. But you know, we constantly have these discussions on the show as well as in our community, just to kind of raise awareness. I think it's constantly overchanging, so we can't really find a definitive, okay, this is what it's going to be. But I feel like having these types of conversations definitely aid, especially when we have newer users that come in. Lots of great things up online doesn't necessarily mean that you can just waltz in with, like, 10,000 polygon shoes or having tons of reflections and whatever in an instance where everybody else is. I mean, sure, they'll kind of complain, being like, well, it's more them than me, but at the same time, it's a community effort to have a good time and have a good event, comparable to how many people you would technically have in there.
Sure, like, I mean, those examples are like really minimal. So the number one cost is the animator for any avatar. Well, it's very poor or excellent. Like, I could have an excellent avatar that has like 10,000 layers that are using any states, and it would just like tank your CPU. But it's an excellent, so I don't
Same
know.
thing for poor or better. You could have just over the polygon limit, for your glasses that look cool and stuff. And back in the day, I like to say this because I feel like a lot of people take it upon themselves now to, like, in their settings be like, hey, if your avatar is bigger than 50 megabytes, you won't show up and my PC will thank me later. But yeah, that limit, like, is, the very poor or better, like, it's kind of outdated at this point, because it really just depends on the context of how actually poor it is. Yeah.
And these are all really good ideas to bring up, especially for newer users that are either trying to figure out avatars or even just figuring out limits on worlds through I use the content creator a lot, the creator companion a lot, to try to figure out building worlds. And I've been understanding that not everybody does that, of course, but, like, again, even getting in here and maybe even finding a public avatar, maybe getting to understand the ranking for the way it is. The ranking seems a little bit dated, needs to be changed. Will it get changed? I don't know. But better safe than sorry, I guess, when it comes to all of that sort of stuff. But
right.
Of course, we're here with Refuge. We're here with Medi and Catmelt and Propaganda here, answering your questions. And of course, feel free to ask any of your questions in the chat. It's been a wild ride with the questions today, especially because we are kind of diving into a little bit more finite details within our community. But the people that are asking the questions, they need to know. I feel like it's better to ask the questions here than to come in and be a sorry sop. Being like, if someone's going to kick you out because of something so basic that you don't have an idea. I've had actually a couple people approach me while I'm having a good time, and they're attempting to communicate with me via memes. And I'm like, this is not the place to do that, bro. Like sit down and enjoy the music. Have you had that happen kind of recently? Like a resurgence of people trying to come in to test the will of the people?
Boob cube, dude.
Yeah, boob cube.
Yeah, what's going on with
Boob
boob cube? I'm interested now.
Someone tell the story. I wasn't there.
Well, I wasn't there for it, but I saw the aftermath, and one of our staff members was watching the stream, and I think the way that the filter that is on the bot that is there to, like, capture the avatars, someone had an avatar that was literally just a woman in a bra on a cube, and it was just floating through time and space in the instance, like 4 poly. Yeah, it was just, so we just called it boob cube, and someone's fallback was a boob cube, and we just
Oh,
I stream everything on Twitch, so that was kind of a red flag.
Jeez, imagine being famous for having boobs on a cube so far away, right?
Yeah,
do not shout out boob cube. You're not getting shout out boob cube. Sorry, dude.
Oh, that's so ridiculous. Kind of looking.
But that is a thing, though. So because we seem to be a lot of people's, like, first time at a rave. A lot of people, and we use public instances a lot, so we get a lot of, like, just completely, like, first time or, like, new users or people on desktop who just, they see the trolling videos and they're like, oh boy, I can't wait to join this world and troll people, and they join, and, like, no one's really, like, taking the bait or going along with them. I mean, first, I'll go along with them because it's pretty funny, And honestly, if you just go along with them and not get mad, they just kind of stop, and maybe they'll end up actually being a cool person. But if they just go to the next person and try it again, I usually just delete them.
What kind of conversations did you guys come up with that to be able to do just public instances like that? I'm kind of interested, especially with the whole idea of, oh, don't go to Publix because they could be rowdy or rambunctious. A lot of memers and stuff like that. What was the process with that?
It's a group instance. Everyone has like, all the staff, and there's a lot of like people we trust who I give kick perms to. They're in there, and I trust anybody who has kick perms. That if someone's being enough of a dick that you want to kick them, you can probably kick them and it'd be fine. You know, so like we don't want that. We don't want to like, I don't know. And it's not that different because it's not like our world is on the front page because it's not a quest world, so it'll never be there. So you really kind of have to search for it to find it publicly. Doesn't make
it's a group. It's a group public, so it's not necessarily like open to the masses. You have to discover the group or the scene, and then but
not only that,
it is accessible. I think it's important.
Yeah, I was about to say, like with the moderation thing, it's also really not hard to tell who's there enjoying it, and there's like you've seen the same 50 or 60 people for a couple hours, and then the one person who wants to cause a scene does, and then it's just like everyone looks at them, like you can literally see people's head turn and be like, what the hell is that? Like, get that, like, let's take care of that. And then it does. So I mean, people get their chances. It used to be a lot worse with the mods where people would come in and you'd be at an instance and you'd see 10,000 of their avatars, but now they've done a really great job of cleaning that up. So yeah, it's just on us. And like Humpy said, we have a ton of people there who, I mean, everyone wants to communicate with us because it's their space too, right? As much as if we don't give them perms, it's their space as well. So they're going to let us know as soon as they're disturbed by someone because they decided to make a conscious decision to be there and they want their space to feel nice. So
I'm just really glad that I think there are a lot of people that keep forgetting that can and it does happen. We have a group public, because like if you roll up in there, anybody can roll in, but people keep forgetting that it's, you have moderation in there and they can actually do something a lot more effectively than any other type of public. And I think especially now with spring break, people are starting to kind of push that idea of, oh, I'm going to crash this public, or I'm going to jump in there and I'm going to be naked, or I'm going to, say slurs or whatever. But at the same time, like, as I heard from someone else, and I coined the frame, you guys get to play with your food. So at least, when someone comes in, you could either go ban them outright or just kind of see what they're going to do and just kind of poke around, which is a little bit more fun than just being like, get out, I guess in a sort of opinion.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you will not only that, but you get to see what the community's like. So, and what's crazy is sometimes there are people like that and you're so nice to them and you're so willing to go along with it. They break character and they're like, wow, you guys are actually really cool. Like, can I hang out here? And that's happened more than once, so.
That must be super funny though.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious because you're like, huh. Well, I guess it's you reap what you sow with that. So yeah, no, it's really nice when that happens.
When you're getting in more people from Refuge, especially when they are learning about other clubs and other types of immersion and experiences, what kind of feedback are you getting from those new people when they're first coming into Refuge? Are they kind of looking for something more visual? Are they coming in for the music? Are they looking for more people that want to dance? Obviously, there is a social aspect to it as well. What have you been finding recently that's been working out for Refuge?
I've heard all of those things, so I can't really pick like one thing.
Some people come for the music, some people come to relax, some people just went to their favorite event and then they come to us after because they're like, okay, I know this is going to sustain my vibe, so I'm going to just chill here and keep listening to music till the battery dies, Like it's a mix of everything.
I think like when I think about it, it's more of people that really just want to find common interests, and it might not even be the music. They could still enjoy the music and the vibe, but I think people who are on VR are like also just searching for like solidarity within their own community they're trying to build, you know. And if they'll I know for me, like I'll go anywhere to find people that I can talk to about some random obscure thing about, you know, like if it's like making certain grids on a poster or something, you know, I'll go as far as I need to find that, you know. But I think that's what most people are just trying to find is good friends and good people that share common interests. So yeah.
I'm glad you said the poster word, because now I'm more interested in talking to you two exclusively over here about posters and poster work. And I can't even begin to tell you how impactful the posters and the type of graphic design that you do bring to the table for Refuge is definitely worthwhile, because most of those times, I kid you not, I don't know anything about graphic design. I know MS Paint. I know I have Krita. That's cool. And I do what I can to do something, but at the same time too, like, I don't know, like we never really know where those posters are coming from. So being able to not only put those posters together and a good reflection of the group for Refuge, but making them so unique and impactful, especially for those people that are DJing and they want a nice professional poster that they can continue to sell their brand or their product, or they want to keep doing IRL DJing and stuff like that. Take us down that rabbit hole of either how you guys even got started in that, comparable to what type of a design and effort that you were kind of going for the Refuge brand.
Well, I was there first and starting it. It's crazy. I actually got kicked out of graphic design school in college because they said that my artwork wasn't corporate enough. It would never make it in a corporate world. You would never get paid to do this. And I think that's mostly because the school I was going to was really interested in apparel design, because I'm from Oregon and we have Nike and Adidas in here, but I digress from that. But the whole thing for Refuge was me to practice for like first and foremost to get as good as I could at my craft, because I wasn't the best yet, but also to see if we could make the best in the scene. Because I used to look at a lot of stuff online and I was like, how do we make it so that people literally cannot miss our poster? Like they stop scrolling, they open it up in a bigger picture. Like how do we do that? And so I did it for a while, and then I met Kat, and then yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I met Prop, and I was like, dude, can I have an internship? And you're like, hell yes. What do you use? And I'm like, Photoshop. He's like, all right, let me show you a thing or two. And Prop taught me so much. Just the one person that I knew in the entire scope of, like, you know, hundreds of 1,000 friends at the time. He was the guy that like was making graphic design and artwork, and I was like, okay, hell yeah, like let's hang out, let's get in Discord. And our first project ever was a Refuge poster, and I remember you showing me how you overlaid stuff, how you made the work, and then I was like, hey, I have a good idea for the typography. And so we ended up kind of doing that for a couple years, and you know, Prop would handle all of the visual design, everything you see in the background, you know, for hundreds of posters. And I would be like, all right, let me take a wheel at the logo. Let me take a wheel at the, you know, the vectors, or even the typography, all the words and how the DJs look on the poster. And yeah, we both just shared a love for like music growing up, and all the electronic music shows that we went to. We were just really trying to impress our younger selves that we can finally do it for like our own, you know, team and stuff.
And the biggest part of it is we wanted people to see it and convince them from just the first glance of looking at the posters that they were going to go to a show that was produced to, if they were to go to something in real life. We wanted to say like, and not only that, like one of the biggest things for the DJs is it's a keepsake for them, you know? Like these people are donating their time to us to play, and like let's represent them the best way that they can and make them happy too. And that's as we go further down the road with like how far we've come since then, and it's such a huge part of the community, which I never thought would happen. Like posters are everything in the VRChat community, and I never thought it would be like that. I just thought it was like a way to kind of separate ourselves out from clubs that weren't doing posters like that, you know, or just like making something look really nice to look at, you know, just in general. So
So crazy
how
to hear someone come up and be like, "Yo, the poster was sick." It's like, what? Like, okay,
yeah.
hell yeah.
Do you find
But
that you get inspired by different seasons, or do you usually, when you're developing a poster, do you just figure out because of a theme, or maybe the lineup has some sort of inspiration for you?
I'd say it's all of that.
well,
Rob's
yeah, it's
really
definitely
creative
yeah,
director when it comes to like the direction of the art.
it's all of it, but it's also I like to be a little bit strict with the branding, like as in like it should feel like without words, you should know exactly what we're talking about, you know, or exactly where we're going, or exactly what the vibe's going to be, what we're trying to curate. Because like any piece of art, you get a feeling from it, and we've had I love creative freedom, and I love exploration, and I love doing all that sort of things. But I think just the quality of art that me and Kat started producing, it would speak for itself, and people could look at it and know, okay, like I don't even need to see the logo. That's a refuge event. And then Cat Mount started
You know,
doing stuff for like the boat community, and they'd be like, "Oh, we know that's a boat event, and we know that Cat Mount made it." And like it just kept going like that. Like we wanted to become um something that's really hard to do in the art world beyond just graphics is like when you look at a Van Gogh painting, you know that's Van Gogh. And like we wanted to get to the level when people look at our art, they go, okay, that's propaganda. Okay, that's cat melt. So yeah.
I'm going to ask a
we've gotten to that point.
a
It's dope.
very difficult question, but I already know the answer to this. But how important are posters for a lot of the clubs and events that are happening in here?
Dude, so important. Like when we were going, you know, when we first met, like Prop said, we were looking at every poster that came out. You know, there's like a Twitter account that was out there, and they posted every poster weekly, and there would always be one. There would always be one that we're like, we're going to that, and that was the effect it had on us. So
Yeah.
if you know, get an artist, or you're an artist yourself, or want to learn how to do it, like I think we encourage anyone to really fall down the rabbit hole, because it's rewarding, and like people will appreciate it at the end of the day, the same way someone appreciates a DJ set. You know, it's like it's just so impactful, and it makes people go, "Oh, we got to check this out. Like the poster's sick. The event
Yeah.
must be. The DJs too."
I mean, it's literally it's like when you get something that's really nice, like a tool, for example, like you get the best screwdriver ever. You know you're gonna have this thing for the rest of your life, right? Or you go buy a screwdriver and you use it twice and then it snaps and you can never use it again, right? So it's just like people recognize quality instantly, and that you only have so many seconds to convince them that this thing is quality or this thing is not. So like yes, you can intentionally make things look less quality, but if it's done with the right intent, it's still pretty. You know what I mean? Like it still makes sense and it still has a place. Your mom's house, for example, intentionally shitty, but it's intentionally shitty the right way. So with art, like we wanted to start off with just being as awe-inspiring as possible, and then convincing people when they saw it that we could now play with the boundaries of what our community expects from us. So
Something that we're going to be seeing fairly soon, I think within the next couple of months, is, again, a lot of clubs are getting together to talk about IRL events, whether it be in the summer, a little bit later in the summer, or maybe even comparable to like where TwitchCon time is in San Diego, or even in the winter for that matter. It's going to happen. And it's not even a matter of me like getting people prepared for it, but you know, just like when all of your favorite artists are going to be going on tour and you have to buy tickets and you have to save your money, you know, you got to do all of that, and kind of getting that idea, and kind of leaning into the where you were saying about how important the posters are. Obviously, the poster makes the event, but then again, also to the DJs and the world. It's all one package, but the poster is going to be the first in line to get you to come to the show. I think, and I've said this in a previous interview too, how important keeping those posters are. A lot of people put a lot of effort and a lot of time into it to be able to promote you and make you look good on the stage. And despite the club that you're a part of, it's still a factual piece of information, especially when you want to start doing IRL stuff or wanting to go perform, or even representing yourself to become an IRL DJ where you're going to be doing clubs and stuff like that. Being able to bridge that fact of performing in here, and there are some genuine people, as we've said before, people want to come in here and DJ as a hobby or like perform for clubs as a hobby. But for those people that are actively trying to push the boundaries, maybe try to find more IRL gigs, I think that people should be leaning more on the posters and the people that are in here. The networking is unfathomable. You know, you could get networking anywhere, and you don't know who's got the inside out and all that other stuff. You know, they know those types of people. So understanding how important it is to be able to promote and make these amazing posters and being able to save that, comparable to how we need to bridge the gap between IRL DJing, or even doing IRL gigs, but having that resume with those posters in it. Where do you guys see that happening in the coming year? Because again, I think a lot of people in our community, they are trying to make IRL gigs, as well as, you know, they want to start here in VR chat by performing with really big acts, but finding that bridge to be like, where do I get out of VR chat to perform IRL? I feel like the posters could be the first step, but what else can we possibly do to kind of continue to bridge that gap?
I love that question. Like, it's your story, right? Like, if you're a DJ, you get to tell it, and you get to show people as much or as little of it as you want. You know, everyone messes up during their set. You got to break the habit of being like, oh man, like I messed up. Just be excited for like the good parts. I think that's step one. Step two is, for us, we archive all of our work on our portfolio websites, so catmelt.com and I think it's propsad.art, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
Propsad.art. And like, if you're a DJ that's, you know, been on a lineup that we've made the poster for, like, save that to your phone, you know, and the next time you go to a gig or you are getting yourself out there, sending an email, whatever, like, show them the poster and tell them how awesome of a time you had and how much fun you had, like, putting that together. And yeah, it's just a visual representation of your story for like 5 seconds. You get to be like, yeah, this was sick. And again, yeah, it's just like, that's, to me, you know, I save everything for my own thing because I kind of want to get a job in this. I'm working really hard to become a graphic designer, you know, professionally still. And I can't do that if I don't save the posters that I make. Same thing with DJs too, you know, save those sets.
Yeah, I would say this is the greatest place to practice. It's a lot more comfortable. You're not bumping as many like elbows as you would in person, but it's basically to the same effect, you know. You're going to be nervous to approach the club owner. You're going to be nervous to approach the DJ. There is a little bit more barrier to entry there because of, you know, it is face to face, and it is it's a business for more than anything for them in real life than it is for here. I don't know a lot of people that throw parties for fun unless they're exorbitantly rich, or they just do it for their friends, which I totally like am happy for. But that's why we're lucky on this side of the VR versus IRL, is that there's no cost to us we don't have any overhead. You know, the only thing that it costs us is our time and effort. But at the end of the day, I do think it's possible to get up on a stage. My biggest recommendation is, if you're going to take as much time and be as interested to be a DJ and be a performer, is especially with how competitive the scene is right now in person, is you have to produce, because that really separates you. And that really defines your sound, and it really puts a persona on you. And also, knowing from experience, my brother hosts a event once a month in LA for techno. He's been producing for almost 15 years now. And the thing that like when he has people approach him to play IRL, like he can listen to your sets forever and ever, but he wants to hear something from you too. He wants you to know that you took the time to sit down and create something that you're proud of and that you want to share with people, as much fun it is to spin other people's music all the time. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on it.
Manny, did you have something to say about that? No.
Yeah, so I keep hearing people wanting to bridge, and I just don't think it, like, I don't know, it's a weird way to say it, because the scenes IRL have been around for longer than we've been alive. You know, the people have been running shows there since I was still in my dad's nutsack, dude. Like, I'm not just gonna show up there and start running shows without getting involved into the scene first. It's super disrespectful, and it's just a bad idea in general. You never know who you're gonna piss off by like running an event on the same day. Like, I don't know, but either way. Also, it's just hard to, since our fan base is online, right? We got to fly everyone and agree on a place to fly everyone out to. That's tough. That is a tough ask.
I know.
So I think for us personally, like we kind of just want to like get involved in the local scenes and just throw an event there and just like tell the Refuge Discord server about it, you know, but not make like a big deal about it. I don't want it to. I don't know. We're never gonna do like a Refuge Con or something like that. Like, no.
It's always very interesting to me when it comes to the sandbox version of VRChat and what we can do in here and what we learn. And I would also say there is a bit of influence. You know, there is a bit of influence for the people that do come in here. We do see some other people that do a lot more IRL shows than VRChat shows, and then they come in here to kind of rub elbows or talk to people or try to, get some more people to come to their shows and stuff like that. And then you have some new up and coming DJs come in and they get a taste of that, or they see how far up that bar is and they want to try to compete with it. But everybody has their own little path in here, and that's what's so interesting about our community is you do have it's I don't know how to say it within myself when I do see how people want to be a DJ in here as a hobby. For someone who has done professional shows, who has made money, who has professional contacts, for me to be like, you have serious skills, why don't you want to do it? And then they're just like, whatever, just kind of come in here and have a good time. And I'm just like, more power to you, because again, sometimes you do cross someone IRL, you may not know it, or you may know it, and then you either say something brilliant or something falls flat.
Yeah, I feel like the skill is the easiest part. To be honest, like marketing yourself is tough, dude. I don't know.
Especially just regular networking.
That's like 90% of the work.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm saying that like it can happen, right? Like it's like, but the thought behind it that like this is gonna be your gateway to it, like, is super hard. Like my brother works at the most prestigious music production college in Southern California, and him and all of his friends like have been producing for years, and they know everyone that runs all the clubs, and they know all these people. But like the best way I'll keep saying it is that is a business, and this is not. Like they have like, look at Insomniac and Golden Voice and all those people who put on the shows. They've put up the money. They get to make the decisions. They write the contracts. They sell the tickets. They get people to go. And the thing is like, if you talk to some of these DJs IRL, some of the contracts they sign, like especially ones with non-competes, they get fucked over a lot. They can only perform for this area, and they get this one show for 2 months, and that's because they're only allowed to perform there in that time span. So I think the dream is amazing, and like we're not trying to be doomers, and we're not trying to like say that it can't happen. We're just saying that like, and if you want to enjoy this for what it is, please do. And if you want to make events with your friends on here, please do. But if you want to chase the IRL DJ thing and perform in front of 10,000 people, it's the same as being in the NBA. It's the same as being in the MLB or playing in the
Sports.
NFL. Yeah, it's like being a sports star. It really is. And that's why we have so much affinity and love for this, is because we get to do it on our own scale. You know what I mean? So like I said, I think it's possible, but it's very hard, especially right now. So yeah.
Like you said, the skill is the easiest part, because you can, you could be the most skilled DJ or the most skilled graphic designer. At the end of the day, it is a business out there, and to kind of prove yourself, it takes a lot of steps and a lot of layers, and it's your story. Just try to have as much fun as you can until the contracts come rolling in. They'll come if you keep doing it. I think as much as Doomer or whatever you were, it can feel that way. If your only goal is to make money from it. And I feel like that's kind of why we respect the business side, and we try to have as much fun as we can until it comes to the boardroom meeting.
I mean, it's super encouraging to see that people really want to try to tip the scales or even touch the bar up there. And I would laugh so hard that once we put this up on YouTube, there'll be someone in comments being like, "I'm going to show you all. I'm going to get up there and I'm going to do the thing." And I'm like, do it. I would love to see it. I would love for thumbs up, buddy. Yeah, like I would love to see it, and I would love for people to try to attempt to do it. But the best part about it is learning to fail and learning from what you've done when that fails, because that's the only way you can learn, is when you fail. And I'm not saying that everyone go out and fail, but I'm just saying that getting those experiences are super enlightening to be able to say, maybe chase those dreams. But imagine when you actually got that dream. Like, what are you gonna do then? You chased it, you caught it.
You did it.
What did you do? Yeah,
you're done. That's it.
And it's super great to be able to taste that. Like, I think we all like McDonald's. Doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna eat McDonald's every day. But like, it's nice to have a little treat. Comparable to treats, I want to kind of get back into the different types of events that Refuge has been doing for the past couple of years. And before we even get to the coveted Salt Lake City gig that we were talking a little bit about earlier, and some of the videos that you could actually see up on YouTube right now, I want to take a quick glimpse back, even at this previous week, comparable to the different experiences that you guys provide based on the genres and the lineups that you provide. And I want you to kind of give us a little look into, because those house events are really fun to go to, but then you have some other events that bring just another type of energy, and it's super unique to your style of club. So I don't know if anybody wants to kind of chime in on that at the beginning.
What event do you want to know more about, or do you want me to go through all of them?
Just kind of go through all of them. I feel like a lot of people, when they think of Refuge, they're thinking of your proper house nights. Like even last night, it always seems like that place is always very full.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just start with the days of the week, since we kind of Tuesdays, Mondays we take off usually, which is nothing. Tuesdays we have Clarity and Delusion, which is Clara's new event. Clarity is a trance event with 2 DJs that both play 2 hours each. Starts late, and it's trance. It's like the world needs to be beautiful or like fit the vibe. So we just made this heart tunnel that, recreated it. It was originally Nick the NPC's thing, but he lost the files in the apartment fire. From the chat.
Trance Tuesday.
Yeah.
Delusion. Same thing, but techno and like hypnotic techno, right? So it's gotta fit the techno vibe, and we use pipe for that usually until we make another world for it. And then that happens every other week. And in between that, we do Freudian's event, which is strictly virtual, which is it's all like psychedelic music, and he's telling a story through that. Not necessarily just psytrance, but like any type of psychedelic. And Wednesdays just house night, 10-hour long. We're idiots for that. Whatever, it works.
Every week. Every
Thursday.
Wednesday. We're on 126 now, by the way.
Yeah, stupid.
Passions.
But
Knowing your passions.
Yeah.
Thursday, waiting room, and that started because
Tomato.
Oat queue was getting ridiculous, and Tomato was like, you know what, can I like run an event under you? Okay, do it Thursdays. And I was also getting really tired of everyone using Halo's small boat world, because I personally just don't like the world. I'm like, I'm gonna make a boat world. So I took Wispy's world and yoinked the boat on it and just scaled it up. Boom, there's Sunboat. And we were the waiting room for boat to open, basically. Fridays, Flightline, and right now we're doing Your Mom's House. Those both happen bi-weekly. So Your Mom's House starts later. It's house music. Probably gonna switch that though and do like house music and then techno, whatever. And then Cat Mullet, do you want to talk about Critical?
Yeah. So Saturdays are reserved for like our monthly events. We kind of, our weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and then our yearly stuff. Everything kind of scales up. So Saturdays are our monthly day where each of us kind of get a shot at throwing a monthly curated event based on, whatever you're doing. I'm doing Critical, which is, for me, I used to do this event called Action. It like really kind of stoked the fire on the Jersey Club for a while, but I ended that. I did those on Thursdays, like every 2 weeks or something. I got super burnt out on that. And then Saturday is now a Critical thing every month, which is supposed to really focus on the artist and what they want to convey visually, and also with their music. Like Prop was saying, like, give people a piece of you out there. I really aspire to get more producers on the lineup and a lot of DJs that want to play their own music or put on their own visuals or get their friends who are VJs to VJ for them. And we put that in the basement. That's going to be really sick. That's going to be this Saturday. Go check it out. Yeah, I just felt like I really wanted to push the envelope on like people who want to really show their artistry. At least once a month. It's 4 DJs, so this week Prop and I are kicking it off with Saint Caribou and Plush Milk, 2 really dope artists as well. Yeah, and then Sundays are just like our chill out day, right?
Yeah, cool down. What that started originally as Refrigerator. It's like we wanted to make this your mom's fridge world, right? Where you spawn in the same house, and you go to the kitchen, and the fridge is like propped open. It's like the light's pouring out of it. You click on the fridge, and then you're in the fridge. We'll make that eventually. I don't know.
Like a butter
It's
couch,
supposed to be like,
or like a
yeah, it's supposed to be like a chill, like
yeah,
relax, like you're in the fridge.
Yeah.
But also, Saturdays we
Posse.
also host Posse, which is old school vibes. So if you're like an old head and you love like all the tracks from the 90s, 80s even, all the way to 2000, like I played a set there for the last one. Vive does all of the map work, created a beautiful environment for it that really sets the tone for, oh, we're at an underground old school rave in the 90s. Yeah, it's just so cool to see people take their vision and really run with it for that Saturday. That's kind of the premiere, like, show us your stuff and what you want to represent. So shout out Vive.
Yeah.
Posse.
I was gonna say you guys got a lot going
That's
on.
the week.
Yeah,
That's the week.
That's-
and then
Yeah.
we've got our festival every year, 3DA, 3 days a week. 72 DJs.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about 3DA, but we just actually talked about it. It was the 69-hour one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any reason to go 72? Any reason to go 100?
Well, it's usually 69, right? Or do we stick to that?
No, I think we
I don't
actually did
I don't know.
72 last time. I think we actually
Yeah.
did 72. The reason for it is because one, we made a joke about doing it, and if we make a joke about doing it, we end up doing it. And two, it's really a chance for us to see, like this last one was how many other clubs we can get involved. It was like the greatest collab event of all time, and
it was
our friends from overseas did a great job of helping us out with that as well. Shouts out to Killer, shouts out to Baptism, shouts out
Yeah, Bobby.
Nick. Bobby's from here, but Nick's also from here. Everyone just comes together and realizes that it's such a cool thing that like let's all do it together and let's participate. So
I'd hate to jump the gun, but yeah, are we gonna be expecting another 3DA at some point in time this year?
Yeah, we plan on doing it every
100%.
year.
No.
yeah,
June.
of course,
Oh, in
June.
June.
And also another thing you can talk to us about maybe happening if you maybe happen to see us about a secret event that we can't talk about, but it will probably happen.
Yeah, and also something super secret that's coming out, and it's not an event. So
Oh.
Yes.
You already got me on the edge of my seat. Like we can't talk about it. We'll talk about it. But I'm sure at some point in time you'll probably give me a call and be like, hey, let's get back on VRCDJLIVE, talk a little bit about it, because got to raise awareness to it, and that we're here for the community. And speaking about the community too, I know we were kind of going back and forth based on the events. Lots of events happening in here. I want to. What's that?
Someone said
Someone
OnlyFans in the
said
chat.
OnlyFans. It's not an OnlyFans.
Oh, the secret event is the OnlyFans. Okay.
Respect. to
Don't
all
give
the
Car any
creators out
ideas, dude. Jesus.
there. It's
That's
just as
funny.
cool.
It's
I
your
promise.
community, man. They want it. You got to do something about it.
I mean, probably not, but we love that you are excited about that. We're super
We have a
stoked.
Patreon. It might not be the same thing.
It's definitely not. But that's funny though. But yeah, that's funny.
I'm speechless. I really, really wish I had some sort of a witty comeback, but I'm sitting over here just like leaning over the desk, like. I guess we'll have to find out. I mean, that's the secret part of the secret. Let's take a step back a little bit about the event, the Renegade event in Salt Lake City. Again, a really big event with some really big, really awesome, cool looking videos up on YouTube. Let's talk a little bit about that and how you put it together.
Oh man, it was just one of
That
those
was-
things, right? We were
That's
just like,
pretty
we
much
gotta try it
all
out.
JD or Jade now. They really wanted to do an event, and they were getting into their local scene and made some friends, and they're like, screw it, let's just do it. And they found the place, made the date. We all flew out,
Poster.
hung out.
You flew out.
Yeah.
I will say it was a little
was
it was
sick.
a little complicated searching for Renegade Salt Lake City, and there was like different things that weren't your event on Google. It was a
I
little
guess
complicated.
It felt like a Renegade. It wasn't like at a club or anything. I think we rented out like
Which-
a really sick bodega, and it was like closed down next to a real bodega, which I'm pretty sure they like owned it or something. And yeah, it was just this empty space, and it looked like a store in the front. And then all the DJs and we were like, oh, we should just have everybody go through the back, like make it even more like crazy underground vibes. Like you had to walk through this alley. I don't know if it snowed, but it was so cold. And yeah, we had like 100 and something people show up. It was sick. Like it was super fun. We all got to play a set, like all the Refuge staff as well as some locals in the scene. Yeah, anybody that could make it out had a chance to, not only just there, but at the Airbnb.
That was so fun.
We had like,
Other than me
that was
dying.
honestly the highlight. The highlight was just hanging out, and like
Yep.
everyone brought like Nick brought like a CDJ in his bag, and someone else brought like their mixer, which could hook up
The
to the
XDJ.
CDJ, and we just threw it on the pool table in the basement,
Yep.
and we just all went for hours nonstop, and we also streamed that. It was just an ongoing stream
yeah.
of the Airbnb.
I think it went like 30 hours or something. just music.
That's super dope. I feel like everybody needs to kind of do that once in a while, and kind of just meet up and not have some large event happen, despite the fact that maybe you dedicate maybe a weekend, hang out during a weekend or even a weekday. If everybody can, all 12,000 of your Refuge club members in VRChat would want to go out and do something like that. But it looks super dope, especially with the different camera angles that you guys had on there. Is there any plans for a part 2 at any given time?
We always
think
tease it.
Yeah,
We
I think
should.
there should be. There should be. It's just a matter of we're all adults trying to make ends meet, and there's only so much time.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have to be really far planned ahead, especially for like everyone who wanted to make the most of it, and of course we want to include as many people as possible, but sometimes the logistics for that don't come as easy. So I think
Yeah.
something
Thinking of,
like that.
Like I remember we were talking about like if there's like a big like EDC type thing, or if there's like a big festival that people are already planning to go to, we should again renegade it and just be like, yo, like after you're done at the festival or after you're done at this huge event, like come through and we'll be streaming the CDJs, probably open decks or something. And
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
thinking about doing
was the best
Orlando after party, and like I mean I wouldn't go to EDC, but I'd go to all the after
Same.
parties and I'd just hang out with everyone.
I mean, I'm
An
not saying
excuse
that
to
I
go
don't
there.
live too far away from there.
I love that
would that be
city.
a +1 to kind of go to this party?
That city's so fun.
That is,
Dude,
if I get
you're
invited, I'm not
100%.
gonna just roll in and be like, I'm
100%
Viewers,
invited.
viewers,
Dude,
I put
you
you on
have
the show,
full
put me in the
access,
thing, like.
No, it's such a cool city, and EDC happens every year. And as you know, Miami does a similar thing with Ultra, and it just kind of like transforms the city for a weekend. For EDC, it's the weekend, so we'd probably just book out like 3 days at a cool club. I used to live there and throw shows there for a long time, so yeah, I think we can make it happen. If we do, Orlando, I guess, or any other cool city. It just
I was wanting to
depends.
do a camping trip after 3DA too in Michigan.
Yeah, that
'Cause-
sounds sick.
I'll probably just get like 4 lots and just whoever's coming, come. I don't really care.
Dude, not gonna lie, camping
Can't go.
DJ with a big old bonfire and everyone's sitting there doing s'mores or like marshmallows or something. That's one dude's on the CDJs over here going like, everyone's rocking in their tents. All the tents are RGB. Like, let's go. That'd be
Doing all
dope.
that live stuff though, it's like just have no expectation and just have fun. Like that's kind of what we do in here, and it works out, and it
No,
tends to translate. So
Yeah.
100%.
join
Yeah, I
the
mean
Discord. That's where you'll know
I mean,
first.
if anything, yeah, just always do it for your friend group, and always look out for your homies, and always just know that it's like, we get the opportunity to use this platform to have fun. That's what it should always be about, over everything. Is just have fun with it, And this is a great place to meet people and make connections, and you never know, you might meet your neighbor. So like, just be nice to everyone. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Word
Yeah.
of advice right here from Refuge is have fun. I mean, honestly, if you're not in VRChat and not having fun, you probably should reconsider why you're even in here, despite the fact that there are a bunch of clickbait YouTubers out there trying to break people all the time. This is VRCDJ Live. We just have a couple more minutes here on the program here with Refuge. And for those people that are in chat and you want to ask some questions, this is the moment. You only got like 10 minutes. You better drum up some questions for these
Fire
guys
away.
before they poof or go get a snack or obviously there's an event on Thursday night, so you should probably go into that as well. Speaking of word of advice, so we got one word of advice from Propaganda. Usually towards the end of the program, we ask you guys if Refuge can give a good word of advice generally to the people that are either interested in Refuge or maybe wanting to DJ or reach out to you guys, or I know there was a question asking how to even join the staff. So what would be some good words of advice that you can give to the people that are wanting to include more of themselves in your program?
Just hang out.
Hang
I'm
out.
always joinable.
Perfect.
Just
Yeah,
go.
we're not deities. We're people. We're all on the same headset. We're all here to do the same thing and be a part of something. And we're never gonna tell you. We'll do our best to try to not say no to like your interests. Like especially if it's interested in being a part of us, just come and say hi. Like we want to know. Like we've been looking for someone else that loves to make art. Like we would love
Yeah,
for
graphic
you to show us your
designers.
art and graphic design, or if you're a producer, if you do visuals, if you're a coding nerd, whatever you're into,
hang
like
out.
come and tell us, bro. Come and tell us about yourself, please.
We're usually in the Discord voice chat. We're also in the game. So if we're on blue or you see us just hanging out, come say what's up. There's so many of you out there that are cool as hell. And like, yeah, I'm proud to call you guys my friends. That's pretty sick. And proud to call you guys like my best friends.
Yeah.
High key.
Yeah, that's
what we
it's
do
up
it
right
for.
there. Yeah, absolutely. And come to the events. It's not like there's a shortage of events for Refuge. I mean, go to all the events, I would assume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, try. You don't
Try
have
if
to.
you
yeah,
can.
don't-
You don't have
don't
to.
kill
Yeah,
yourself.
There is no
don't
trophy.
be
There's no award for being there all the time.
No.
I mean,
do you know
dude,
we thought
we
about
know
actually
of
we
some
thought
people
about
that
it.
do show up
Yeah.
all the time.
We thought about making like I thought it'd be really funny to do a ranking system. Like that was one of our stupid ideas, just because we wanted to see how high our rank would get for being there all the time, like as a joke. But yeah, I mean, just come hang out and just come be just come be yourself, dude. That's what we want
Be
you to do.
yourself.
So
Yeah.
Seeing that you guys have a lot of events going on, even just now, what are we expecting to see Refuge kind of accomplish in 2025?
Oh man, I want to talk about the super secret thing so bad, but I won't.
I would say 2025. I would say giving us I don't know, more time to do what we're interested in. Really letting the new people in the staff kind of have their time in the limelight. With what they're putting on. We've done and worked so much on everything that I would say us three have the highest percentage of freaking out about something minimal.
Yeah.
So, and the freaking out about something minimal is us caring about it. So, just, I don't know, letting people giving people a platform to do something cool. So if you do have a cool idea or you can put something together, like come and just show us what you got.
Yeah. We're not going to eat you.
No.
We'll just be stoked to hear about it.
Yeah, just show up. I guess that's how it would be.
Come through.
Normally when we have our guests on the program, if you watch the show a lot, one of the closing questions I love to ask is if either collectively or individually, I would love to hear the top 3 DJs in VR chat that we have to look forward to this year.
That's wild.
Yeah, this is a wild question. Holy shit. Humpy, you go first.
Loaded.
What the hell?
Yeah, you get to go first, bro.
Okay, Wilda is on the list. I don't know where.
I pick the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know.
Okay,
There's
we can
too
each say
many.
one. We can
There's
each
too
say
many.
one and
Okay.
go like
Well,
That's
around
fair.
it
Well, I
until
can
we
do
hit
it with that.
three.
That's fair.
All right. Damn. All right, hold on. I would say Soap, dude. Like I've seen him from the jump, and he has become one of the most like just mind-bending genre like defying and also respecting artist I've seen in the game. Like he'll fit anything you want to do, get that guy. Book Soap. Straight up. That guy's crack.
I love playing with Operator AF. He's amazing techno DJ and always fits the bill for anything that they get booked for. So I would say go see Operator if you see them in a lineup.
He cares a lot. Like he makes sure the DJ before and after him are playing. Like he knows what they're playing, so he can match the vibe and carry the vibe. Yeah,
That's super
really
unique, especially because you do have a lot of DJs in here that, I mean, obviously you don't want to be too stoked that you set up an entire hour of music beforehand, but being able to just last minute, like listen in and try to carry that vibe into the next thing is super unique to be able to pick the music on the fly like that.
Yeah.
Dope. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all these guys here, either you're here on the program or even here in Refuge. And before we get on out of here, where can we find you guys on the internet?
Message me on Discord. It's just at propaganda _.
Wait,
if you want to see me specifically.
Individually
or Refuge. Yeah,
whatever
just look up Refuge VR.
Whatever you guys want to do. I mean, I would love to know where to find Refuge first. That'd be a good idea. But then be able to find you guys.
RefugeVR.co.
Yeah, RefugeVR.co.
Discord.gg/RefugeVR. Yeah, if you type in Refuge VR anywhere, we should pop up.
It should come up.
Except for whoever has the Twitter handle. Please give it to us.
Yeah, please give us the Twitter, bro. Please give us the Twitter, bro.
Yeah, what happened with that?
I don't know. No idea.
Did you be like a super fan or something? Probably.
No, before. Yeah. Way before.
Ah, okay.
It's the Refuge is the thing. They've just had it.
Fair enough. You guys also were able to promote yourselves too, right? I know in that whole massa.
Yeah, no, we set our websites earlier, right? Yeah. I mean, if you want to just get in contact with us, honestly, go discord.gg/refugevr, click on any of our names, send us a message. We have time. So Humpy not so much, but we have time.
When you send the message, don't just say yo. Be like, say like one other thing, like one sentence after that.
Or just hello, like the normal bots do. Hello. Like, okay.
Yeah, because you're just gonna get a yo back.
Yeah, the wave emoji is also a really good one. Yeah. Yeah, make sure.
I'm not buying the knives you're selling, bro. Like, just talk to us.
Yeah, make sure there's at least 6 O's in yo. Otherwise, the 7th won't count, I guess.
Right.
Perfect.
There's got to be 8 O's in the yo. Or I'm not replying.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, guys, I want to thank you for coming on the program, Medi and Catmel and Propaganda of Refuge. Thank you guys for coming by to VRCDJLIVE.
Thank you. Thank you.
And for those guys that are at home and on the Twitch, of course, we broadcast here every Thursday, except for next week. We're not doing it next week. It's Miami Music Week. I have a job to do. We got to bring the IRL DJs into VR chat, of course, and we'll see how that works out depending on how many other people we have in here. But of course, next month in April, we have a cracked out lineup. We're going to be posting the poster up on social medias on Saturday, but because you guys are here, you guys get to hear it first. Next month, we're starting VRCDJLIVE with DJ Gearbolt. We're going to be talking a lot about his upcoming tour that he just announced up on YouTube, as well as his recent Gear Fest, followed by Rave. We've been seeing a lot of their work in VR chat. We're going to talk with them and see what's good with Rave. Followed by, believe it or not, we're going to be talking with Jazzy Senpai of VRCDN to kind of talk about their projects that they've got coming up. And followed at the end of April, we're going to be joined by Miss Stabby to kind of give a nice look back nostalgia type within the DJ program. So, of course, we have all of the information for you up on X and Blue Sky. And following this show, we're going to be posting our highlights on Friday and the full show on Sunday for you up on YouTube for you to check out. So again, for Medi, for Catmelt and Propaganda of Refuge and our team of VRCDJLIVE, I'm Rob Roman. Thank you guys for coming by. We're taking next week off, and we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.